It's been so fun to see what Taylor actually gets into around the house.
Travis is like, he's just a vibe booster in everyone's life that he's in. He's like a human exclamation point. Like, you know, he's like, when you take a picture on your phone and you put the you push the enhance color button, that's like what you do to everyone's life.
When I text, I'm always exclamations.
I use so many more exclamation points.
Stop what you are doing because Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce just sent the entire internet into overdrive. Fans are spiraling, timelines are exploding, and everyone is trying to piece together what just happened. Whenever this couple so much as blinks, people immediately start jumping to the wildest conclusions. Engagement rumors? Check. Moving boxes and living together full-time? Double check. If you were online this week, you probably saw the chaos unfold in real time. So, here is how it all went down. Travis had Taylor on his very own podcast, and that alone was enough to break the internet. This was the first time fans got to see them side by side in that setting, laughing, talking, and giving just enough of a peek into their private world to send Swifties into orbit. Everyone thought, this is it. The stage was set for a massive relationship announcement, and fans were practically holding their breath waiting for wedding bells, or at least some hints about the two of them moving in together. And then Taylor did what only Taylor can do. She completely flipped the script. She dropped a totally different kind of bombshell. In true Taylor fashion, she announced something that had fans shook. Now fans are freaking out all over again, because this new announcement proves that Taylor knows exactly how to keep the world guessing and keep the spotlight exactly where she wants it. It finally happened. The moment Swifties have been begging for, manifesting, and refreshing their feeds about finally came true. Taylor Swift stepped into Travis Kelce's world and made her first appearance on his wildly popular New Heights podcast with his brother Jason, and fans are calling it nothing short of the Swiftie countdown of the century. It honestly felt like the entire world was holding its breath. People were counting down like it was the ball drop in Times Square. 3, 2, 1. And then there she was, sitting side by side with her Super Bowl champion boyfriend, smiling, laughing, and casually about to change the course of the fandom once again. From the moment the episode dropped, it was chaos. Last-minute watch parties sprang up all over the place. Swifties filled group chats with links and timestamps. YouTube crashed for some fans trying to tune in live. In the first 10 minutes, more than 1 million people had already joined the stream, and that was before the actual announcement even happened. The anticipation was so intense that many viewers were convinced they were about to hear wedding bells, a pregnancy reveal, or maybe even a moving in together confession. Instead, Taylor flipped the entire script. In classic Taylor fashion, she delivered her bombshell with a mix of grace and mischief. After joking about how Travis first pursued her, it kind of felt like I was in an 80s John Hughes movie, and he was just standing outside my window with a boombox. She got real about how surreal it was that this love story had blossomed. She shared sweet, never-before-told details about their relationship, the kind of moments that feel almost too personal for the public. Yet she was comfortable enough to open up while sitting right next to him. And then, with no dramatic buildup other than her own cool delivery, she dropped the news. "This is my brand new album," she announced, sparking applause, gasps, and literal meltdowns across the fandom.
This is my brand new album.
We got TS12, baby.
This is
All right.
my brand new
TS12.
album. It's called The Life of a Showgirl.
Love it.
It was
love it.
something that I was working on while I was in Europe on the Eras tour. And
So while you were on tour,
I was working, I would be
How
on tour.
on earth did she do this on the tour is still blowing my mind.
I just love it. I just love it a lot. I love music. I would be playing shows. I'd do like 3 shows in a row. I'd have 3 days off. I'd fly to Sweden, go back to the tour, and actually like working on this. I was physically exhausted at this point in the tour, but I was so mentally stimulated and so excited to be creating. And this is...
And literally living the life of a showgirl.
I was.
While she wrote it.
That's why I called it that. Nailed.
And the way Travis looked had fans all corny. One person wrote on X, "Travis is giving my girlfriend Taylor is about to show you her new album. You better be nice." Another said, "When you're in a who's more obsessed with Taylor Swift competition, but your opponent is Travis Kelce." The 12th Taylor Swift studio album is officially here, and it is called The Life of a Showgirl. Fans could not believe it. Within seconds, timelines fans were flooded with screenshots, memes, and fan theories. Easter egg detectives immediately started combing through her recent posts, pointing out that she had been teasing the number 12 for months, from 12 photo carousels on Taylor Nation to dropping cryptic hints at exactly 12:12 a.m. And of course, the orange color scheme that had been quietly appearing everywhere suddenly made sense. What made this moment even more powerful was how unfiltered Taylor seemed. This wasn't a polished awards show speech or a carefully timed Instagram announcement. This was Taylor Swift in sweatpants energy mode, laughing with her boyfriend and revealing career-defining news to the world in the most casual yet colossal way. The intimacy of it all sent fans into overdrive. Not only did we get confirmation of TS12, we also got a deeper peek into how Taylor and Travis support each other, how much respect they have for one another's worlds, and how this relationship has become as much a part of her story as her music. One person loved the dynamic of the three of them and said, Jason's reaction to Taylor calling Travis a human exclamation point and him being an enhance color button is the sweetest thing in the world. You can tell how much it means to him that Travis found someone that sees him and loves him the way Taylor does. It wasn't just a podcast episode. It felt like a cultural reset. Swifties, football fans, and casual listeners all agreed. This is the most intimate, surprising, and iconic Taylor Swift interview we've ever seen. One of the sweetest parts of this whole new chapter for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce is that they've actually had the rare chance to just be together. After months of stadium lights, cameras, sold-out arenas, and Super Bowl-level pressure, the two finally got some much-needed downtime. Kelce wrapped up his NFL season. Taylor closed the curtain on her record-shattering Eras tour, and instead of jetting around non-stop, they've leaned into quiet, homebody couple vibes. It is the kind of soft domestic season that fans have been dying to picture, and now, thanks to their recent New Heights podcast appearance, we actually got a glimpse of what that looks like. For weeks, multiple outlets have whispered that the couple has been house hunting together, scouting out properties where they could settle down. But in true Taylor and Travis fashion, they didn't come right out with some formal announcement. Instead, they gave a subtle, almost cheeky confirmation that they're already living together, at least part-time. And of course, they did it in the most casual way, while sitting side by side on the podcast, dropping little nuggets that had Swifties screaming and replaying clips for proof. At one point, Taylor was asked about her favorite segment of New Heights. Without even realizing she was confirming anything, she grinned and said, "I like new news just because of the screaming. I hear him screaming, 'New news,' from across the house constantly. It's my favorite part. He'll be like, 'New news,' and I'm in the kitchen being like, 'New news.' So I love that, because of just the bellowing of it." Cue every fan on the internet immediately typing in all caps, "From across the house? Did she just say across the house? As in, they're living together?" The answer seemed to be a quiet yes. One person wrote, "Tay admitting they live in the same house, don't cry Gaylors." And fans have been noticing these details for a while now. One person wrote on X, "Kinda crazy that in 2009, Taylor said she loved Kansas and it was the one place she would love to go back to. Then 14 years later, her boyfriend Travis would buy a new house in Leawood, Kansas, so he and Taylor could have more privacy." But it wasn't just Taylor spilling the cozy details. Travis chimed in too, giving everyone an adorable peek at what their post-tour, post-season life has been like. "It's been so fun to see what Taylor actually gets into around the house," he admitted. You could tell from his smile that he loves watching her settle into domestic rhythms, the little hobbies, the quiet downtime, the everyday Taylor that the public never sees. After years of being the world's most visible pop star, she finally gets to exhale, lounge around, and pick up little passions that have nothing to do with global tours or NFL championships. And as if that wasn't enough, the pair even cheekily brushed up against those ever-present engagement rumors. They didn't confirm or deny anything directly, but their easy, comfortable banter spoke volumes. You could feel how natural it was for them to joke about across-the-house moments and laugh about what goes on in their private bubble. It didn't feel like a couple dodging questions. It felt like a couple so secure in what they have that they don't need to overshare. They just let little truths slip through. For fans, this podcast was more than a fun chat. It was the confirmation they've been waiting for that Taylor and Travis's relationship is thriving not just in the spotlight, but in the kitchen, in the living room, in the quiet corners of a shared home. And honestly, that glimpse might be more swoon-worthy than any red carpet appearance. And just when fans thought the podcast couldn't get any cuter, Taylor and Travis gave us another window into their everyday life together. And it came in the form of hobbies. Taylor, in that dry, self-aware humor of hers, laughed and said, "I'd I'd say all my hobbies could be categorized as hobbies you could have had in the 1700s. I get all my granny. Everyone cracked up, but she wasn't kidding. While some people unwind with reality TV or TikTok scrolling, Taylor's downtime revolves around things like baking, cooking, knitting, and little cottagecore rituals that sound straight out of another century. But of course, one activity in particular had Travis grinning ear to ear. "I love to cook," she explained. "I have a different baking obsession every 6 months." Before she could even finish the thought, Travis jumped in with the kind of line that made Swifties' hearts collectively melt. "I'm the luckiest man in the world to work," he said, looking right at her. It wasn't rehearsed. It wasn't a PR moment. It was pure, in-the-moment admiration, the kind of thing that makes their relationship feel so refreshingly real. Taylor then confessed that her current obsession has completely taken over the house. "Right now, we're very deep in a sourdough obsession that has taken over my life," she admitted with a smile. "And if you've ever been around a bread baker, you know exactly how intense that can get. We're talking jars of starter in the fridge, flour dust on every surface, and timers going off at random hours." Travis, being the supportive and hungry boyfriend he is, couldn't help but chime in with his own playful take. "I'm lucky I'm working as much as I am," he laughed, "that I'm running as much as I am because I am getting the caloric intake." It was the perfect mix of charm and honesty. Yes, dating the biggest pop star in the world is incredible, but dating the biggest pop star in the world who also bakes fresh bread on the regular, that's a whole different level of winning. And the stories didn't stop there. Taylor shared that her baking habit had even followed Travis into training camp. "Yeah, he asked me to send him 2 loaves of sourdough at training camp," she revealed. "I'm like wrapping sourdough loaves in saran wrap or cling film. The sourdough has taken over my life in a huge way." The image of Taylor Swift carefully packing up homemade bread to send off to her NFL boyfriend instantly became fan fiction level content for Swifties online. It's wholesome, domestic, and ridiculously endearing. The stuff people dream about when they think of celebrity couples but rarely get to see confirmed. This tiny glimpse into their kitchen dynamic made fans feel like they were witnessing something truly special. Forget the glitz and glamour. Sometimes love looks like a Grammy-winning pop star fussing over the perfect loaf of bread, while her football-playing boyfriend brags about being the happiest, fullest man alive. And just when fans were still reeling from all the cozy podcast confessions, another layer of the Taylor and Travis love story started to unfold: house hunting. Yes, the world's most talked about couple is officially shopping for their dream home. Earlier this month, multiple sources spilled to Cleveland's scene that Taylor and Travis were spotted touring at least 2 opulent homes currently for sale in Northeast Ohio's Tony Eastside suburbs during a July trip. Just picture it. The 2 of them walking through sprawling mansions, probably joking about who gets which closet, maybe even imagining holiday dinners or baking sessions in a giant chef's kitchen. And this is not just a random rumor pulled out of thin air. The whispers about Taylor and Travis making a big real estate move have been circulating for months. Back in late January, Us Weekly reported that the couple was seriously considering purchasing property together. A source revealed at the time, when they have time, they want to look at real estate. They've talked about exploring buying a home together. Of course, Swifties took this and ran wild. The idea of Taylor Swift, who has homes in Nashville, New York, Rhode Island, Los Angeles, and London, adding a Midwest love nest with Travis feels like the ultimate rom-com plot twist. Not only would it symbolize how serious they are about blending their worlds, but it would also be a huge nod to Travis's roots in Ohio. For fans, it's basically the real-life version of Love Story, only with actual mansions, football trophies, and maybe a sourdough starter bubbling on the counter. If the podcast hints weren't enough proof that they're already spending a lot of time under one roof, these house hunting reports all but confirm that Taylor and Travis are laying the foundation, quite literally, for the next phase of their relationship. And while engagement rumors may continue to swirl, nothing says long-term commitment quite like shopping for your forever home together. If there was ever any doubt about the power of Taylor Swift, her New Heights podcast debut just shut that conversation down completely. Fans didn't just like it, they loved it. In fact, loved it might be an understatement. Swifties turned this into one of the biggest pop culture events of the year. From the second it was announced that Taylor would be joining Travis and Jason Kelce on their hit show, the countdown was on. Fans organized watch parties, prepped snacks, and even joked about skipping work just to tune in live. And when the episode finally dropped, the numbers were out of this world. Wednesday's podcast broke YouTube records for concurrent viewers, meaning the number of people watching the live stream at the exact same time. At its peak, 1.3 million people were watching Taylor in real time. That's not just a podcast. That's basically a stadium audience, only this time everyone was crowded around their laptops and phones instead of in the bleachers. And the wildest part? The sheer amount of people tuning in was so massive that it actually crashed the stream. Nearly 2 hours in, with over 1 million viewers glued to the screen, YouTube couldn't handle the Swiftie surge. The internet went black for a few minutes, which of course sent fans into a frenzy online. Memes started flooding Twitter and TikTok with people joking, "Taylor broke the internet again." By Friday evening, the episode had already racked up more than 15 million views, numbers that most artists dream of for a music video, let alone a podcast episode. It wasn't just a smash hit, it was a cultural juggernaut. And what kept everyone so hooked was not just the fact that Taylor showed up, but how much she gave. She wasn't sitting there in PR mode, carefully choosing her words. She was playful, she was open, and she revealed some seriously big news. She unveiled the album art for her 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl, and then she went into detail with the Kelce brothers about what went into it, what inspired the tracks, and even which guest artists would be featured. For Swifties who live for Easter eggs and album breakdowns, this was like winning the lottery. On top of that, her interactions with Travis were pure gold. Every time they exchanged glances, every inside joke, every subtle hand touch, fans were screen capping, gif making, and swooning in real time. It was the perfect blend of music news, relationship content, and comedy, thanks to Jason's hilarious commentary. At the end of the day, Taylor's podcast debut wasn't just a one-off appearance. It felt like a global event. Swifties will remember where they were when TS12 was officially revealed, when the internet briefly collapsed under the weight of millions of fans watching, and when Taylor Swift turned a football podcast into the biggest live-streamed moment of the year. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are no longer the new couple on the block. They've been dating for 2 years now, and in that time, they've managed to become the ultimate pop culture fascination. Heading into the 2025 NFL season, the buzz around them is louder than ever, partly because of Taylor's world-dominating music career, partly because Travis is one of the best tight ends in football history, and partly because together they're just magnetic. Every little update about them, whether it's a date night, a podcast episode, or an Instagram cameo, instantly becomes a headline. Kelce's own celebrity has skyrocketed thanks to this relationship, but also because of his wildly successful podcast New Heights, which he co-hosts with his brother Jason. What started as two brothers talking ball has turned into a cultural juggernaut that now pulls in A-list guests and racks up millions of views per episode. The podcast got so big that Wondery scooped up the rights last year in a deal reportedly worth $100 million. That's not just a football podcast anymore. That's empire territory. Of course, all this fame has come with its own set of challenges. In his recent GQ cover story, Travis was candid about how dabbling in Hollywood and entertainment may have stretched him thin. Between a cameo in Happy Gilmore 2 and hosting Amazon Prime Video's Are You Smarter Than a Celebrity, he admitted his production on the field had slipped over the past 2 seasons. For a guy as competitive as Kelce, that's a tough pill to swallow. But here's where Taylor comes in. According to Travis, she's not a distraction, she's actually helping him sharpen his focus. He told GQ that she's fully on board with his goal of a bounce-back year and another Super Bowl run with the Chiefs. She's not just cheering him on from the sidelines either. Jason Kelce even introduced Taylor on New Heights as having won 1 Super Bowl alongside his younger brother, a joke that landed because, let's be real, she's practically part of the Chiefs' extended family at this point. Travis even admitted, "I sort of made her a football fan," and the way he describes it is adorable. She is the most engulfed fan now. She knows what the injury reports look like. She understands what special situations are, third and short, all these things because she just naturally loves to hear about my job. The image of Taylor Swift, who once filled stadiums singing about high school heartbreaks, now eagerly dissecting injury reports and situational football strategy, is so surreal and yet somehow feels perfectly on brand for this couple. Together, they're rewriting what it looks like when music royalty and sports royalty collide. It's not just glitz and photo ops, it's shared ambition, shared support, and a genuine love that has made them both stronger in their respective lanes. So, what do you think? Comment down below and let us know. If you liked this video, click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be the first to see my next video. I post updates like this every week where I uncover the secrets of your favorite celebrities.